Hi everyone, I hope you all doing well today. So today I like to share an easy seaweed tofu recipe with you, and this is a super delicious recipe. Now all the ingredients are in the description, so please do click on it for all the amounts and the ingredients that we will be using for this tofu recipe. So for this recipe we will be using extra firm tofu, so we're going to drain all the excess liquid, and we're going to pat each block of tofu dry with paper towel. Now I am using a double batch, so you will be seeing that I will be using 2 blocks of tofu in this video's recipe. So I'm going to cut each block of tofu into roughly 12 equal pieces, just so that you'll have even cooking time later on. Then we're going to chop some green onion, and we're going to put that aside to use as garnish later on. Now for the sauce, what we will be using is we will need soy sauce, a little bit of mirin, a little bit of water, some yellow sugar, some sesame oil, some ginger, as well as some garlic powder. Now if you want to use fresh garlic and fresh ginger, that works too, but make sure everything is nicely minced. And then we're going to whisk everything together until the sugar is fully dissolved. And you want the sugar to be fully dissolved so that it can cook faster and it will coat the fried tofu evenly later on. So for this recipe, you will also need roasted seaweed, which is called sushi nori. Now, you will be using 1 sheet per block of tofu. So like I said, since I'm using 2 blocks, I will be using 2 sheets of the roasted seaweed. Now we're going to cut each of the seaweed sheet into 12 pieces for the 12 pieces of tofu that we've cut earlier. And we're just going to cut the pieces of seaweed, and we're going to put that aside and go and prepare the next step. So at this point, you're going to need a little bit of cornstarch for you to coat the tofu later on. So we're going to take each piece of tofu, we're going to wrap it around with a piece of the roasted seaweed, and we're going to sort of coat all the sides of the tofu with cornstarch. And don't worry about having too much or too little cornstarch. As long as you've got a little bit of cornstarch, that will help to fry and sort of coat the tofu with sauce later on. And we're just going to do all that and lay out all the pieces of tofu on a platter, and we're going to fry them in a frying pan later on. Now for this recipe, it is recommended that you use a frying pan that is non-stick and has tall sides so that things don't spatter all over the kitchen. So you know the oil temperature is ready when you dip in the tip of the chopstick and you see little bubbles coming, forming on the tip of the chopstick. That's when you know the temperature is ready for frying. Then I'm just going to add all the tofu pieces to the frying pan, and we're going to fry it on medium to high heat for about 3 minutes on each side. And don't worry about frying it until it's a dark color. You just want a light golden color, because when you add the sauce will coat the tofu and make it a nice caramelized color later on. So just give it a quick stir until everything's recombined, and add the sauce to the tofu. And at this point, what you want to do is you want to lower the heat to low medium, and within 30 seconds to a minute, you can see the sauce starts to caramelize and thicken up and give it a nice golden brown color. So now what you want to do is turn off the heat and just plate your tofu onto a serving platter. And then you're going to sprinkle it with a little bit of the spring onion that you saved aside earlier. And again, that's optional. So if you don't want to use the spring onion, you can omit that. But I like to add a little bit of spring onion on top, and then sprinkle on top of that with a little bit of sesame seed as well. And again, you want toasted sesame seed for that nice nutty toasted sesame flavor to it. And in our household, we like to eat this with some rice and some steamed veggies. So sometimes we even eat it without the steamed rice as well. So it is really, really delicious. And you can see the tofu is nicely coated with all the sauce that we added earlier. So anyhow, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Happy cooking, take care, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye bye for now.